Hey guys, it's Nurse Mia LPN. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about my nursing journey. So if you like to hear what I have to say, keep watching. Hey guys, how are y'all? I just wanted to come and chat a little bit. I'm going to talk about my nursing journey and how I started. I guess you could say that it was back in 2000, maybe 2000 I started. So here in Georgia, I started out actually in an LPN program. I'm an LPN now, but long story short, I started out in an LPN program. Um, got to a certain point. I think my son was almost 2 at the time. My mom and dad were going through a divorce, and she said, "Well, how about we all, go and live in Florida?" So I basically stopped in the middle of my program. I had already started clinicals and everything. Stopped in the middle of my program and moved to a completely different state. I didn't know basically where to start out. I know I wanted to finish nursing school, but I didn't know where to go in Florida. Um, but I knew I had to do something. A little bit of time went by, and I actually went and got my certificate or my diploma as a medical assistant. I was a medical assistant for about 15, 15 years. But during that time, I think I worked at a nephrologist office. If you don't know what that is a kidney specialist. But they also monitor like hypertension and things like that. I worked at that clinic for 8 years. Um, right before, I think maybe a year before, maybe 7 years in, I decided that I wanted to go back to nursing school again. And there was a college there in Florida that I applied to. I started taking prerequisites. Um, I did okay for the most part. For most of them, there was always this one class that I could not pass, which was microbiology. I don't know if it was the teacher, or if I just wasn't understanding everything right, but I ended up dropping that class. I did not want to mess up my GPA, so I dropped micro. Um, Life happened. Ended up after maybe a year or two, I moved back here to Georgia. Um, and here I decided that I was, now maybe this is a couple years later, obviously. I decided that I was gonna try the RN program again. Um, Signed up to a local college, tried microbiology again, all my other credits for the other classes that I had taken, AP 1 and 2, chemistry, all those classes transferred. So I just had to try that microbiology again. And once again, I had a really bad teacher this time though. Like, she would tell us to study stuff for a specific test. And when we got the test, none of that stuff was on there. I don't know what it is about certain teachers. They tell you to study, study, study. What they tell you is gonna be on the test, and then it's not on the test. So I think I took, and this was in, let's see, 2018. I took about 3 tests in that semester. It was right before midterms. I had took 3 tests. I failed all of them. I already knew if I had any shot at any point ever again in life to be an RN, that I needed to drop this class again, because I did not want to risk, like before, ruining my GPA. It wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't bad either. But if I had failed that class, it would have been nowhere near to where I can get into any nursing program. So right before we got ready to take our midterms, I believe, classmate of mine said, "Oh, did you know that they just started an evening LPN program?" And I was like, "I don't really want to do the LPN thing again. I really want to get my RN. But it's at night. You can take the classes in the evening." And at the time, obviously, I was working full time. And here, if you're taking RN courses, majority of the time, there's no way possible that you can actually work and go to school at the same time, because your nursing classes take up most of your time, most of your day, with that and clinicals and studying and everything. So I I couldn't afford to quit my job. So I gave it a shot. I took the entrance exam. I think it was called the NLN. Took the entrance exam. Didn't do the greatest on it, but I figured whatever. If I get in, I get in. If I don't, I don't. Applied for the LPN program. Like I said, I already taken all my prerequisites from when I was in Florida. So a lot of those classes transferred. I did not have to retake them. And microbiology is not needed for an LPN program. So that was a plus. So I actually, the score that I got on my NLN was not that great. So I figured that I wasn't going to get in. I actually emailed the program chair and asked him specifically, if my NLN score is this, what are my chances to get into this program? And he was like, oh, more than likely, if your scores are not great, probably won't get in. But I guess something happened between the time that I sent him that email, maybe a month or two later, and I had already at this point decided I was done with trying to be a nurse. I couldn't get into school. I couldn't get into the program. I couldn't pass the classes, well, micro. So I had kind of at this point given up. I just said I wasn't going to try anymore. I'm just going to move on to something else or stay as a medical assistant for the rest of my life. But maybe a month or two after I spoke with the program chair, I got a letter in the mail from my school. I opened it. I didn't know what it was. Actually, I had no idea. I opened it and I saw, congratulations, you have been accepted to the evening LPN program. I cried so hard, like literally cried so hard, because I knew that was something that I really wanted to do. I've been trying to do it for so long. Literally, my son was 2 years old. At this point, I am 37 going into this program. I'm 39 now. So the program, I got into the program, I started my classes. We took fundamentals, pharmacology, blah, 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 all the regular classes that you would take for nursing. We had awful teachers. It was the first evening program here in Georgia, and we were the actual first class to start with this first evening course. So we were kind of like the test dummy, if you know what I mean. A lot of stuff went wrong. We had a lot of teachers that could not teach. Basically had to teach ourselves. But the course was 5 semesters instead of 3. So instead of a year, you would go for about a year and a half. It's about a year and 5 months or so. So from 2019, January 2019 to June, July of 2020, that was my whole entire program. And then we graduated in August. So yeah, it was about a year and a half. Not to mention that the school that I was accepted to was literally an hour and 15 minutes away from my house. So I would go to work. I worked as a medical assistant in another nephrologist office here in Georgia. I would go to work all day from 8 to 5. Sometimes I would leave a little bit early to get to school, because from my job to the school was about 40 minutes. So I would leave usually around 4:15, 4:30, and my job was pretty on board and didn't have any issues about leaving early for school or taking off for exams or whatever it was. So I would do that, drive 40 minutes to school from my job, and then drive an hour and 15 minutes home from school. The classes it started at 6. The technical time was 10 o'clock, but we were normally done by usually 8, depending on what we had to do. If there was lecture and then a test, or test and a lecture, blah, blah. Usually we were done 8:30, 9 o'clock at the latest. But a lot of the time I was so tired from working all day and then having to study. I was studying on lunch breaks, studying on the way to school. Don't do that while we were driving. Don't do that. But studying when I got to school, like whenever, I mean, staying up late at night, always studying. That's what I feel like my life was: work, school, study, work, school, study. That's it. But managed to pretty much get A's and B's through my whole nursing program. We had clinicals on the weekends, every other Saturday and Sunday, and we used to have to be at our clinical sites by, I want to say, 6:45, 6:45, 6:30, 6:45, something like that. And once again, our clinical sites were close to the school, which means I had to drive an hour and 15 minutes for my clinicals. If that's not determination, I don't know what is. Just say that and leave it at that. So let's see. When we got done with school, of course, we had a pinning ceremony. Anyway, sorry. Like I was saying, we got ready to do our pinning ceremony. And at this point, I was already looking for some nursing positions. Maybe like 2 months before graduation, they told us it's okay to go ahead and start applying. So I had already planned to leave my medical assistant position because the company was good that I worked for, but there was no room for advancement. I couldn't move from an MA to an LPN at that facility. There was nothing I could do that I wasn't already doing there. So I'd already decided that I was going to go somewhere else. And I had been at this place for 3 years at this point. But needless to say, we had our pinning ceremony, and I actually had a job interview that day of our pinning ceremony. So I went to work. I left work early. I think it was a Friday. We normally got off work at 12. So I got off work at 12. I had my interview at a rehab, and it was a drug and alcohol rehab facility. Had an interview there, left there, went home, changed, got everything ready for pinning ceremony. A couple days later, I got a phone call that said they wanted to hire me. So I got my first LPN position. Well, from that interview that I did the day we had our nursings, our clinicals. I mean, what am I talking about? Our pinning ceremony. So that's pretty much most of my journey. It's been a long time. I've been trying to be a nurse literally since my son was 2 and he's 21 now. So about 19 years I've been trying to do nursing. Took my NCLEX. That's a whole nother video. I'm gonna talk about that later. But needless to say, I am a LPN now and considering furthering my education. I've only been working as a nurse for the last 5 or 6 months. Also trying to advance my skills with that. And I had an interview last week for a second job at a nursing home. I did not like working at the nursing home when we did clinicals, by the way. However, I feel that if I'm going to advance my skills, my nursing skills, that I have to either work at a nursing home or a hospital. I tried the hospital. They don't call back. That they're on hiring freeze or something. So I have had an interview at the nursing home, and I did the paperwork, and I'm just waiting to hear back to see when I can start, what the pay is going to be, and all that. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of go over or let you guys know how my nursing journey started. So if you have any comments, feel free to drop them below. Please remember to like, rate, and subscribe. And we'll talk to you guys later.